Ooh, hello, everybody. Welcome to New Earth Rising, our fun little YouTube/podcast where we talk about all kinds of weird stuff. And I am Michele Amburgey, the Awakener, and I'm here with my buddy, my Sharona. And we are going to be talking about lucid dreaming today, and then whatever branch we go off on this tangent. We love what we do here because we always pick a topic and we end up like 600 miles off track, but it's always fun. It's always informative. We hope that it lifts you, opens your heart, open your mind. And so we're really grateful that you're here. So again, I'm Michele Amburgey. I'm a psychic intuitive and high frequency energy channel, hypnotherapist, all the things that we learn that we can be here. And I'm so happy to be here with Sharon because we get to do this show together. She is such an amazing hostess with the mostest. And so thank you so much for putting up with me, Sharon. We just have so much fun.
We do. Yeah. We spend like almost an hour talking beforehand before we even record. And I think we probably say this every show. We should have turned on the recorder right away because we have so much fun talking about so many cool things. Yeah. But thank you, Michele. I am really, really grateful and happy to be here with you as well. And again, we have so much fun together. And thank you, everyone watching. This is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to talk about lucid dreaming, conscious dreaming, and understanding your dreams and how that can take you to the next level of your spiritual and personal progress. And also, out-of-body experiences. And I want to touch a little bit on spirit rescue too, and how they can, and soul rescuing other parts of our soul integration, other aspects, fragmented parts of us as well, how we can work on that through our dreams and through lucid dreaming and out-of-body experiences as well.
Yeah. It's really important. And, before we get started, Sharon, I do want to say, and I want to let people know that you have a course that is starting this Sunday, May 15th. So if anybody who's watching this really finds, if you guys find yourself like really interested in this or feeling like this is something you'd like to look more into, Sharon's got courses because she's an amazing spiritual teacher. I'm taking her courses because she's just that darn good. And I just kind of wanted to let you guys know, because as we go on, if you hear something, and I'm pretty sure you will, that piques your interest, know that there is a course coming up with Sharon, and it's amazing. And I'm going to be there. So come on, let's play. Let's dream.
Right. Let's dream together. Let's create the dream we want, not the dream we don't want.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Michele also teaches courses, and she has some amazing courses too.
Got some stuff too. We have so much fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
totally.
love it.
So yeah, lucid dreaming and conscious dreaming, I guess you could call it, is for any that maybe don't understand what that means. What it means is being conscious and aware that you're dreaming in the dream state. And if you don't remember your dreams, it doesn't mean that you're not dreaming. It just means that you don't remember your dreams. Yeah. And there's a lot of inspiration, messages, guidance, journeys that we make in our dream time. Our body definitely needs to rest, but our consciousness does not necessarily need to rest. It is eternal. Our consciousness is eternal. Our soul is eternal. So we are off doing other things, processing our day, processing things and working through things that we have dealt with in our life, in our current experiences, that type of thing. So our dream time is the best really way for guidance, our higher self and our guides and our loved ones to communicate with us, because we are not focused on the outside world. We are within. We have gone within. And dreams seem really crazy and weird, because our higher self, our subconscious, is I take that back. Our conscious mind is trying to understand what's going on in the higher planes and brings that information to us through symbology, language that our subconscious already knows, and bringing that down into our ego mind, I guess you could say. So that's why we need to work with our dreams and understand what our symbology is and what our language is, our own personal language is, and that helps us work through our dreams. And then before we know it, we are becoming conscious in our dreams. We're traveling and meeting all kinds of beings in our dreams, including our guides, including our loved ones, including our past lives, future lives as well, our beloveds. We can, Michelle was just sharing with Michelle a couple of lucid dreams I had in the last 4 or 5 days, one last night and one a couple of days ago, where I had a couple of experiences with my higher beloved that were really, really cool. So we can do that in our dream time, in our non-physical state. We are doing it, basically, is what we are doing. It's just a matter of being conscious of that and bringing that awareness here, merging the two worlds. And that's what we're all about, right? That's what we're doing.
Exactly. Exactly. You know, when I have dreams, I don't remember most of my dreams, which is why I'm excited. I'm aware that I do dream. And when I first wake up, I've got that, it's like gone like smoke, right?
Yeah.
Unless it's really important for me to remember. And I do have a few dreams that I've really remembered, like the one where I was driving down the road in an open air station wagon and it was raining pheasants.
Raining what?
So pheasants, the birds.
Oh, pheasants. Oh, wow. Okay.
So dream analyze that. But no, we're not really talking so much about dream analyzation, but it's interesting, like certain things will stick with you. I think most people have dreams that really have stuck with them, that they have remembered. But, you know, speaking with people and, you know, with clients and students, most people don't remember them. And I agree with you. I think that that's part of a language, an inner language that we have, that's so important that we develop. It's almost like part of our multidimensionality, right? Our multiple dimensional selves that are experiencing and expressing. And it's important to be in touch with that. So I'm super excited to be taking the course, learn how to do that.
Yeah. And I think that dream interpretation is the first step toward becoming conscious in our dreams, and that way we can understand our language. And for instance, with pheasants, if it were my dream, I would look at it and say, okay, you know, what do pheasants mean to me? What is, and maybe look up animal, the animal,
oh, like the spirit animal.
The spirit animal pheasants. What does that mean? And just go with whatever resonates with you, and go with maybe someone or a website or Ted Andrews or somebody, you know, that you would trust in that. And then use that as a foundation to see, okay, does that resonate? Does that have anything to do with what's going on in my life now? Does that make sense? And then use your own intuition at the same time, but give you something maybe to, if you aren't sure, something to start with. And then see what pheasants are all about. If it's raining pheasants, to me, that's a very profound dream. Obviously, since you remembered it, it is. And to be raining pheasants is a big message, in my opinion. If it were my dream, that's how I would look at it.
It was memorable, to be sure.
Yeah. What does this mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when we're driving our car, of course, everyone's different, but a lot of times a car can represent our body, our vehicle, that type of thing. You know, there's lots of messages in our dreams that we kind of don't really, if we don't understand it, we don't pay attention to it.
Yeah.
They can tell us a lot about what our higher self and our guidance is trying to tell us. If we don't take the time to meditate or, you know, go into that reflective state, then there really isn't any other, or do automatic writing or journal or anything like that. If we don't do that, we're constantly, you know, focused on the outside. How is our guidance system supposed to communicate with us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's awesome. That is great suggestion too.
Mhm.
I never thought about going and seeing what pheasant means and the spiritual, meaning of it. Didn't even cross my mind. And I live the spiritual meaning of
I know.
everything. Isn't it funny? We all need to be working with each other and doing stuff like this
Totally.
and sharing the information.
Totally.
It's so important. And I love that you're doing it. And so with the lucid dreaming thing, I'm assuming there's like a set of practices to learn how to do it. It's not like you're just going to say, I'm going to remember my dreams when I wake up and then go to sleep. There's got to be some things that you need to do kind of on a regular basis.
Well, that's part of it,
And not to
definitely.
divulge everything because there is a class coming up. Um, but is it difficult to remember, or is it difficult to get into that state, or is it fairly easy?
It isn't difficult if you're dedicated to it. It's like everything else. It's a
Yeah.
practice. Just like I call it devotion rather than meditation, but meditation, just like that,
Oh,
it's a
I like that.
practice. So having that discipline makes it a lot easier. And number one is you got to write your dreams down. You got to find a way to record your dreams.
Yeah.
Always, whether it's on a recorder, whether you journal it. I like journaling, in journals, that kind of thing. That's number one.
Yeah.
You just can't remember your dreams normally
Yeah.
without recording them. Because I find that, and I mean, I record almost at least 5 or 6 times a week, out of a 7-day week.
Wow.
Yeah, which makes me proficient at it. Then I remember and I get my messages, and I have lucid dreams, like what I was telling you earlier. So yeah, what was I going to say? So if you don't put the time to it, then the energy dissipates. Just like everything else, learning how
Yeah.
to do something, you have to put the energy into it. There's just so much that we can learn from, and we can grow exponentially with working with our dreams. I can't describe. This is one of the things that my teachers, Yeshua at the very beginning, he's met me in my dreams. That he taught me in the very
Oh,
beginning
wow.
is to
Yeah.
journal my dreams, pay attention to my dreams, because that is the real world.
Yeah.
I mean, this is real in a sense, but that is really the more real world, I guess you could say.
It's out of
Yeah.
the matrix.
Yeah. Yeah. And paying attention to that is really super important.
And isn't it amazing that we've been told the absolute opposite?
Mm.
Oh, even as children, oh, don't worry, that was just a dream.
Mm-hmm.
It has no meaning. It's not important. And yet it's some of the most important things that
Right.
we have. Because I remember when I was little, I used to dream and remember my dreams. And I would tell my family about it. And they'd be like, you're so imaginative.
Yeah.
You're so cute. And yet it's the huge, like you said, the language. I love how you put that. Because there is a language. It's like being psychic or intuitive too.
Mm-hmm.
There is a language that you work with. Ooh. And how much are they associated? Like, especially people that are psychic, like I'm super psychic intuitive, but is the language similar?
It depends on the person, actually.
Okay,
Yeah,
that
everyone's
makes sense.
language is different. Just like when you're, when in your intuitive, in your clairs and everything like that, what you work with in your psychic language is different too for
Then
you.
everybody, yeah,
Yeah.
good point.
Mm-hmm.
Good point.
Yeah.
Interesting. I love this. I'm so
Me too.
excited.
Yeah.
Tell us more. Tell us more.
Yeah. So for steps for lucid dreaming and understanding your dreams, and working with your dreams, of course, is having a dream journal, whether it be on the computer, on a recorder, or in a written book journal. I have dedicated journals to my dreams and my out-of-body experiences. Dedicated journals for that. I have a dedicated journal to my thoughts, things like that, and I have a dedicated journal to my manifestations that I want to manifest, things that I want to manifest. And so I'm a journaling freak, and guess what? It works. So
okay,
yeah.
hang on just a second.
Okay.
Get journals. All right.
Right.
Go on.
On your first day, write down that you're going to remember your dreams. Write that before you go to sleep. Repeat it in your mind. You're going to remember your dreams, or you're going to be conscious in your dreams. Something along those lines, depending on where you're at in your dream recall. Yeah, I'm going to remember my dreams, or I'm going to be conscious in my dreams. And just keep that in your mind throughout your day. And as soon as you wake up, any time of the night, because we're dreaming, we dream in cycles. We have 90 minutes to maybe 2 hours of cycles normally, unless we're taking some kind of medication or something like sleeping pills or something, or we're really, really tired, where we enter the alpha state, we're relaxing, and then move into the theta state, then the REM state, which is the dreaming state. And so then we come back up. We come back up out of it, and we wake up. So we go from the beta to the alpha to the theta, and the REM actually the REM is where is the delta, I believe, where we're totally non-dreaming. Yeah, I think. I have to look that back up again. I have it in the presentation in my course. Okay.
We'll learn that in class. You need to take the class.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You'll know that. But the theta state is the out-of-body experience state, the lucid dreaming state, that type of thing, because it's a very deep trance state. Okay. REM, I believe, would be deep sleep. Deep sleep. That's it. That's what I was looking for. Deep sleep. Okay. So then we go through that, and then we come back up, and then we go back down, and we come back up, and then we go back down 2 or 3 times a night, depending on how long we're sleeping. So we have, maybe 2 or 3 times or 4 times to recall our dreams as we come back up to this awareness. So the first thing to do is, and it takes practice, is to not move when we wake up. If we want to remember our dream, don't move, because that's really hard. If you're sleeping, we're so used to turning over or something like that, getting in a comfortable position.
Or running to the restroom.
Yeah. Think about that. So don't move, and try very difficult. This is very difficult. Try very hard not to think about what you want to do out here. Go back to your inner world and ask yourself, what was I doing? Who was I with? How do I feel? What were the colors? What was the feeling? The emotions of it is probably the first thing you'll get.
Yeah.
And then get that in your mind, and then write that down or record that when you go to the bathroom or whatever it is. Just record anything. And just jot down some notes, and you can fill it in later because it'll trigger you. And
wow.
Do that each time. But the easiest way to remember your dreams is not move and go back in. And remembering a dream is like you said, that string, or with that like smoke. It reminds me of when you try to focus on it. How you're trying to get an eggshell out of an egg, and it just keeps sliding away from you. That's what it feels like to me. Because it's like you just can't quite get the string to pull to bring it across the bridge, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, because it just keeps, the more you focus on it, sometimes it keeps sliding away. The information keeps sliding away. So that's why getting little parts of it can be really helpful, and then things come to you.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because I know usually when I do remember my dreams, they're dreams that I've had in the morning.
Yes.
Like earlier in the morning. So maybe it's just the more recent dream that I had is a little bit easier to remember. Would that be part of that?
Yes, same here. Same here. But the with me it depends on how tired I am, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't I try I how do I put it? I've tried during the night, but I find out, I mean, I still remember them sometimes, but I find out that the earlier dreams are usually working out our day, that kind of thing.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And then the ones earlier in the morning are the ones where we're, traveling more and connecting to our guides and things like that. Yeah. Not always, but it seemed with my experience, those are the ones that we're processing and working out what we experienced through our day. If we watched a scary movie or watched something before we went to sleep or did something before we went to sleep, it seems to me, for me anyway, my experience, that comes up in my dreams.
Yeah.
Earlier in the night, processing those types of things.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure I was in Italy last night.
Oh, yeah.
And I was watching Under the Tuscan Sun. So
Well, you can't beat that. It sounds like you were traveling.
it was pretty cool. But I always wonder about that. I wonder if, and do we dream? I mean, we do, we're always dreaming, right?
We're always dreaming because we're always there. Our
Wow.
consciousness is always doing something.
Right.
Doing, being, all that kind of thing. It's always in action, in movement. We are multidimensional, so we're constantly experiencing, expressing, experiencing.
Wow.
This is just a small part of who we really are, tiny small part of what our consciousness is actually being and doing. So that's why that's why we have dreams, to connect us across the veil, I guess you could say, to
the other side.
Yeah.
Wow. Because I know that I maybe about 6-8 months ago, I kept dreaming that I was going to Jupiter. And I've had it like throughout my life, but it was really intense. And going to Jupiter, and like I was helping the Jupiter people learn about how to use the DMV. And it's another one of those really, really vivid ones, and it was funny because they all look like cute, sweet little Asian beings, but I knew that that's not what they were, but it's what they were presenting themselves as. And I just now kind of went, at the DMV. It was like interesting. It was really interesting.
That is, and we have travels that we that we think are dreams, but we haven't quite put our finger on it. And Jupiter, there's just bases on Jupiter. We have bases there. So, hey, you could be remembering your expression there. Your reality there is another Michele.
Yeah. God,
I have lots
watch out,
those.
world. There's two of me out there.
There's more than two, sister. Yeah. You know that. Okay. But it's so cool once you become aware of your multidimensional self, you realize how hugely expanded we are and how multidimensional we are, but not only that, but how amazing we are. Yeah. And everything that we have at the tip of our fingers that we can access, and understand and remember who we are, what we're doing. We're helping so many other experiences, other beings, like you were saying, in other realms.
It's absolutely fascinating. It really is. And I love, because, I've heard about the OBE and the lucid dreaming and remote viewing, right? All this stuff for so long. And it wasn't until I met you that I started going, well, maybe I feel safe enough, which is part of it, to kind of look at it and kind of start investigating what this is. And it a little bit freaks me out, even though I'm totally psychic. I'm used to being on all these realms. I talk to ETs, I talk to angels, but it's really interesting. But you said something just maybe even last week that really stuck with me, is it's we're not going out anywhere. We're really going in. We're going in or deeper, learning about us and who we are and what it is. And even, if we're experiencing something like being on Jupiter, it's an inner journey.
Right.
We're not leaving ourselves. And I
Yes.
think that's something that if someone who's kind of been scared of this stuff, was so comforting and so much like, okay, I get it. I'm not leaving. I'm going in. And that's what all the great teachers and masters have told us. The heaven is within. God is within. It's all within.
Yeah.
And so this is so resonant. It's so congruent with all the ancient teachings and everything, working with this kind of stuff that you're teaching.
Right. Yeah. Well, I'm glad that resonated with you, because it makes so much more sense to me.
Yeah.
And I mean, out of body experience is it's a misnomer, but it's it's been coined in the Western world because it feels like it. It feels like you're leaving your body. It definitely does.
It totally does.
Yeah, and when you have that experience, you perceive things around you as if you have left your body.
Yeah.
But it's still going. You're still raising your frequency and moving within. You're in a higher frequency, and you're still within that reality. And you can move into higher frequencies and other realities. And I was just telling Michele that I had a lucid dream this morning where I was creating a reality. I was at the ocean. I created the ocean, and I wanted it to be golden. I said, because I was at the ocean, I said, okay, I want this ocean to be golden. I want to see golden waves. And as I'm floating toward the ocean, I was with my beloved in the higher planes. The ocean started turning golden because I created it, and my and my beloved was with me, and then we face each other and hold each other and start spinning around, and it was just a really amazing experience. But we can do that in lucid dreams, in any type of projection or out of body experience, and create those types of experiences.
I love that. When you started talking about that, it was like, oh yeah, I get that. I can totally visualize. I can see the sky, beautiful, different kind of color than what we see here. It's
right.
So good. So good.
So that's the one example of being able to create your reality within a lucid dream, and also in an out of body experience. With an out of body experience there's a fine line between a lucid dream and an out of body experience. What an out of body experience is thought of, or projection is thought, astral projection thought of to be, is you're in a more objective reality, whereas a dream can start out and become a dream type reality that's subjective, and you can maneuver or manipulate it, control it, create it with focused thought, which is really, really cool.
Especially when you're dreaming. So, and that's the lucid part of it, right? You're conscious that you're dreaming, and you're directing your dream within the dream.
Yes. Yeah. And there's nothing more freeing than to realize that you're in a dream when you're dreaming, and your higher self and your guides can send you triggers or you can create your own triggers and say, okay, if I see my car in my dream, that means that's going to tell me that I'm dreaming. You can give yourself triggers. If I see my dog or something in my dream, that's my trigger that I'm going to be dreaming, because we're constantly giving ourselves triggers in our dreams. And if we journal them and record them, then we can see what our triggers are. We miss so many triggers. We really do.
Wow. This is so fun. And it just, again, as you're talking, I'm like going through this whole thing. It's like how multidimensional we really are. Yeah. We can be in one space, dreaming in another consciousness, and then being aware, having another consciousness, conscious of the dreaming consciousness while we're still here. And there's consciousness here, even when we're dreaming,
Right.
that is staying with us. That's already three
That's
different
three.
levels of beingness.
Right. Yeah. And I did that not, I guess a couple months ago. I was in 3 different realities, conscious and aware in 3 different realities.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We are amazing
Are
beings.
we?
Wow.
And the more we bring that awareness into here, the more we can access the higher realms, if that makes
Yes,
sense. We
it
can move
does.
up higher, we can move out, expand more, move within more. Moving up higher means moving further within. And we can expand more. We can expand our conduit, our channel, that where we're bringing in more light and bringing in more energy into this dream here.
The Matrix dream.
Right. And guess what? We become more intuitive.
Yeah.
And we become more creative, and the world starts changing around us, and it starts becoming what we're dreaming, as we're bringing what we're creating in the higher realms, in the inner realms here as well. And so we're focusing on bringing all those energies together. And that's how we talked about this before, create the new earth, what we want to call the new earth, and bringing that to the old earth.
So amazing.
Mhm.
It's so amazing. Yeah.
I know, and it
My brain is kind of going because it's absolutely fascinating. And so much of what I teach is going within, going within, going within. And this is
right,
just completely right in line with all of that.
right. Yeah, and I mean, indigenous peoples have always revered their dreams. They talk to their children about their dreams. What did you, what were you in your dream? Where were you doing? What was your dreams last night? And I don't think they even called it dreams. They probably used another term for it. I think Robert Moss talks about that in his books. By the way, Robert Moss has amazing books about conscious dreaming, aware dreaming. And we're going to do some of his exercises in the course as well. I know, really, really amazing stuff. You can re-enter your dreams.
Oh, talk about that. That fascinates me.
When you have, say you have a really profound dream, and or any dream that you want to get more information about. I find that a lot of times in my dreams I have, or in my experiences, my travels, I have conversations with my peeps, and I'm remembering it while I'm there. I mean, I get it while I'm there. I understand it while I'm there, but then bringing that information, I'm sure everyone here has had that experience where bringing that information back here isn't as easy. So you can re-enter that dream through drumming, and we're going to do some of that through drumming, or any type of meditation that you can use yourself to go back into that space. Or even you can even ask before you go to sleep, I want to go back into that space of that dream, or move into a nap or whatever, and see if you can get more information on that dream. I've re-entered dreams while I've been asleep. I've come out of an out-of-body experience, come back to this reality, and have gone right back. When I go back into that vibrational state, go back into that same situation throughout the whole night. So I've been in that same situation through the whole night. So you can do that too, but and you can ask whatever information that you want to glean through that, moving back into your dream and get information. I did a retrieval recently with moving back into an experience where an out of body experience where I was ended up on in a parallel reality, another planet or something, I don't know. And it's hard to tell what the difference between them all is now. And I ended up staying there and forgetting who who I was before I got there. And so I went back into the experience and brought him, a young male that I was, brought him back here because my guidance told me I needed to do that.
Wow.
Mhm.
So was that a spirit rescue or a lucid dream or an everything? Because the
Yeah.
reason I ask that is because that opens up that we can be other people in our dreams.
Right. Right.
We're not just us. We can be other people, other aspects of ourselves.
Oh, definitely.
Wow.
Definitely. In that experience, I was underwater, and I go out of underwater a lot, being MERS.
You're a mermaid.
Yeah, being MERS. And so I finally got to the point, and I'm lucid, I'm conscious to where I know I can breathe underwater. Okay.
So
I'm in
cool.
I'm in a fluid environment. I don't panic anymore. I'm in a fluid environment, and I hear this most beautiful singing, but it's kind of far off. And I think I'm listening to it, saying my affirmations to keep my awareness. And then I come out of the water onto land, and there's a reality there that I don't recognize, with a lot of boulders and rocks and everything like that. And there's homes. It's just a different place than here. I feel that. And I look down at my body, and I have scaly skin. I think did I share this with you before?
I think you did.
Yeah,
This
I
is
think I
so
did.
cool.
Okay, well, that's the one where I went. I ended up being morphing from the amphibious being to a human, and he stayed there. And so I was still aware that I was Sharon here during that, until I started becoming the human and interacting with the family and all that. And
Wow.
yeah, and so I decided to stay there as the human person, the young male. So when I came back, something happened where I ended up coming back in the in the room here. I got the distinct impression that I needed to go back and bring him back, because I felt that he was still a part of me here. Does that make any sense? That he didn't,
totally.
I didn't end up there to begin with. I wasn't there as that person to begin with. I brought that part of me there, so I needed to bring him back. Yeah.
It totally makes sense.
Okay.
And that's part of the reason why I asked that too. I can't recall necessarily ever being somebody else in my dreams that I can think of, although I'm always much thinner in my dreams.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Right.
And younger.
Still dreaming. Yeah. But that makes sense, that if you are in that state where you're aware of another aspect of yourself, that bringing that back into wholeness, because it's kind of like, I know a lot of times when I do prayer work with people, we call all parts of ourselves back into this present moment. And so it would stand to reason that you would want to bring that part of you, that young man, back to integrate it back into your wholeness.
Yes, because this is where he started.
Yeah, exactly.
If I had gone there to visit him and he was actually in that reality, living a life before, does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Where I had that multidimensional self there and living a life and doing that, but he got caught up. He forgot where he came from. He forgot that he came from that the amphibious being, first of all, and then that was where I was. So bringing him back out, because I felt it was an oppressed community.
Oh,
I felt there was oppression there.
Yeah.
So so I had to, not had to, but I was guided to bring him back to where we started. Yeah. Because he didn't really belong there. The family was kind to him, and he decided to stay, but that part of him was just there for a visit, basically.
Yeah. And probably wasn't in his wholeness.
Right.
Yeah.
And I felt that the reason I perhaps went there was so that I could experience that, because I hadn't experienced that before, except for another amphibious being that and this is crazy. I saw myself as an amphibious being. I come out of the same type of reality, out of fluid, ocean fluid area, and out to onto land. I have 2 legs, and I'm amphibious, green amphibian skin. And I end up, there's humans there, and I end up moving away from them because I feel they're dangerous for some reason. They end up capturing me in this
Ooh.
experience, and in a lab, and am doing. And the only reason I learned that is because I went back into the experience. Okay, I learned all
Wow.
that. So another part of me, with a group of these purple beings. This is crazy, but this is what happened, and I'm very conscious. These purple beings end up rescuing him and bringing him back.
Wow.
And I'm with them, and I'm saying, who are you? You know, who are you? They're these beautiful purple beings that are non-human kind, but bipedal, almost like amphibian looking, but they're purple. And they said they're the League of
Ooh.
League of Mon, MAN, and Mon. And I said, Mars, League of Mars? No, 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 League of Mon. I finally got it after a while, but then as I went back into that, and that was a totally different out of body experience, totally different. But as I went into both of them, I realized that they were part of one whole experience that needed to happen for soul integration, for these aspects, different aspects of me.
Wow. Now, let me ask you really quick, because this is crossing my mind too. Like with what you're talking about, how much of that is maybe past life stuff that's bleeding through too? Or I guess that would be multidimensional as well. This is where everything kind of starts crissy-crossing, right?
Right.
And coming in, because even things like deja vu, and stuff like that. So often I've heard people say, oh my God, I'm feeling deja vu. I just dreamed this 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of like all these realms. It's like all these sections that are all beginning to move together. Does that make sense?
Oh, totally. Totally. Yeah. The veils are thinning for sure. And so we're having more and more premonitions in our dreams, or in our, psychic moments, that kind of thing. And things are happening quicker. So what I've learned is, what I know, right, is when we go into the dream state, or go into the dream world, that world, go within, our perspective is where we can see all of time, depending on how far in we go. We can see past, present, and future. We can
Right.
perceive that, okay, because that's where it really is, what it is. Here it's different, okay. So we're able to see events that maybe that happen tomorrow, that are going to happen tomorrow here,
Ooh.
but they're happening for some reason. It's already kind of set in stone, as long as things go according to plan at that time.
Right.
And so those moments are we're able to perceive those moments, those things, because that happens to me all the time. It seems like now a lot more, where I'll come back from a dream or have these thoughts, where something's, I'm seeing a situation. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just dreamed about that last night, or the night before. Yeah. Or I'll look at my journals, and I'll see that I dreamed about something that happened a month later, and I didn't even think about it. So that's a good thing to do, is go back over your journals. You'll see patterns that you didn't notice before. If you see
Yes.
patterns, that's definitely messages for you to look at what those patterns are all about. Yeah, and try to figure that out.
Wow. This is so
Fascinating.
cool.
Yeah.
This is so cool. And I know one thing that we were talking about before the show, because we really need to just start recording the whole thing from
I know.
because we have such great conversations.
Yeah.
But you were also talking about, and you just mentioned it, about doing spirit rescue
Mhm.
in that dream state and bringing people through, because I know you're having on your YouTube tomorrow evening, Friday the 13th, you're having a spirit rescue on your
Yes, a
YouTube, your
live.
personal YouTube.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. Friday the 13th, live spirit rescue, where I and Mike Dinkle and Charlotte, I've just met her. Charlotte Tinker, I think is her last name, who is also a spirit rescuer. We're going to be helping spirit that has, that is still stuck on the earth plane, for lack of a better term. It hasn't crossed over into the higher planes. So we're going to focus on people who have died of domestic violence, that type of thing,
Oh, wow.
because of what's come to light. And that's in, the
Yes,
news now.
of course.
Yeah. So and being a survivor of domestic violence myself, that's something that I'm very sensitive to. So we're
Yeah.
going to both focus on that, and that can mean women, men, children, animals,
Yeah, pets even. Yeah.
pets, anyone, whoever we can help. So we're going to do that tomorrow. And yes, we can do that. I've done that many times in the dream state, in the out of body state, where I've helped spirit, because that is a really good place where you can communicate with spirit in the heart, in the dream state. It's kind of easier than here.
Yeah, I would think that it would be.
Yeah.
I would think that it would. You know what? I got to tell you right now, I'm hearing a child's voice saying, "Can you help me?"
Oh,
Right now. Can you help me? Can you help me? Are you feeling it?
I do now. Yeah.
Ooh. Mm.
A little
Can
girl.
we help them real quick? I think it is a little girl. And I hate to barge in on what you're
No.
talking, but it's very insistent and it's kind of bringing up emotion. And it would be great to share this with our viewers too.
Totally. She feels about 5 or 6 to me.
Yep. Yep.
I see her with dark hair,
Yep.
long dark hair. Is that what you see?
Yep. And I'm seeing a little dress that used to be white, but it's kind of
see a
almost
dress.
grayish looking.
Yeah, I see her wearing a dress too.
Mhm.
Yeah, let's get her.
Mm. Yeah, we can help you, honey.
I'm getting an A name with her, Abby or Abigail or something like that. Abby.
Yeah, she's got a little stuffed animal with her.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like a little stuffed duck, I think. And when you say that, she's holding the duck up.
Okay.
So I don't know what that means.
So is that the name of her duck? Okay. All right.
I'm getting the name Anias. What is that? Anya?
Anais.
Anais?
Anais.
Feels French.
Okay.
I feel like she's French.
I'm feeling that she's saying she can't find her mommy, that she's
Yep.
separated from her mommy.
Yep, exactly what I'm getting. And I'm also
Yeah.
getting almost like she's saying, like, she can't find her mommy, but her mommy told her to find you.
Okay.
All
right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's help her. Okay, sweetheart. We're gonna help you.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so I'm projecting myself to her and taking her hand. We're gonna help you. Just turn around. There you go. Just turn around. Your mommy's over there. Just turn around and look There's light over there. Do you see the light? There we go.
Yeah.
There she is. There's your mommy waiting for you right there.
Yep. Yep. She's holding her little animal up in front of her.
Yeah.
Something very special about. Oh my gosh.
Whew.
Yeah. I feel like she's got there with her mommy.
Yeah, I saw her pick her up.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
I felt that expansion in my heart center.
Yeah. Like her mom is waving too, like, thank you.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's almost like a film on the little girl that I want to kind of pull off of her. Maybe ask for Archangel Michael to go in and woo, light now. Almost like there was a film in front of her. I don't know what, like, but yeah. Oh, so good. So good. Thank you. Ooh.
Yeah.
Mm.
Thank you for noticing her.
Yeah, she was very insistent. It was really cute. It was like she couldn't find her mommy, but her mommy told her to find you,
Nice.
which I found that to be very interesting. So perhaps even, there was communication through the veil, which
Yeah.
was interesting because I saw that veil there. That she still could communicate with her mommy, but she couldn't find her. That was so good, Sharon. You do so good on that. Because like as soon as I can feel when you step in and that light opens up,
Mhm.
and then the family comes forward and saw her turn and holding that little ducky up. I can see the little beak.
Yeah, and that's with spirit rescue, that's really all. And I'm going to teach a course on that too, coming up in a couple months. Because anyone can do it. We can all do it.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of trusting it and not being afraid, because these are just people. These are just people. It'd be like helping someone cross the street kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And so just helping, what I've learned is from my near-death experiences, is just turn around. All we need to do, because our attention is on the earth plane, and just turn around and see, because our loved ones, our guides, our angels, all of those spirits are like a dream to us if we still have our attention on the earth plane. And she didn't realize that what had happened.
Yes.
She was still wanted. I felt like
she was looking for her mommy here.
She was looking for her mommy here, yeah, and that I felt like they died separately.
Yep.
But died in similar type of circumstances.
Yes. Yes. Because at first I thought maybe they had died together and mom had got on and she got stuck, but it wasn't lined up.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I felt. So
good job.
Yeah, that work is just so needed and rewarding. And I know you have to go here in a minute, but if you can just imagine how many people, how many beings that have died over the beginning of humanity
Existence, right.
existence, who would still be, who might not have the tools or the awareness and to be able to move across into the higher planes that are still on the earth plane. And these are parts of us too.
Yeah. And people that died very unexpectedly, tragically,
Right.
violently. I noticed that a lot of that is they're almost like stuck. It's almost like they passed away at a low vibration, maybe in fear, maybe in pain, and then it's almost like that's where they're at.
Totally.
And it's hard for them to grasp into the other realms because they're stuck, their focus here.
Right. Yeah, and the war can do that. So you can imagine, and there's been a lot of wars.
I worked at a place where I did readings and healing work, one of those little metaphysical stores. And there had been children that had been abused there. It had been a morgue, then it had been a church where children were being abused in the church and all kinds of crazy stuff. And the morgue was old. So when they let the fluids out, they would just put it into the ground.
Oh,
That place was like, but it was interesting because there were quite a few children that were there that those of us that worked there would be like, oh my gosh, that little girl is back. Annabelle was one of them. And, ooh, and, we were all kind of cross them over, but there were other forces that were kind of holding them there.
yeah.
And so when I finally left that place, maybe about a month out, I woke up and all these children were in the room and they're like, can you help us? And it's almost like they had to get out of that space and they followed me over. And so then I was able to, and I could just see go whoop, 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 whoop. They just started just going home.
Nice. Nice.
You just never know.
You don't.
You just never know.
I love doing group rescues, and we'll do some of that tomorrow night too. Group
Yeah.
rescues is really amazing. Yeah.
And you're going to be doing that on YouTube?
YouTube, yes. YouTube live.
Okay.
We'll do it live, and I'll put the link down below.
Put that in there.
And my Ascension with Sharon Kumara. Yeah.
Yep. So good, so good. Because I think,
Yes.
and we have so many of the children that have been rescued, with all that's been going on the last few years too,
Mhm.
and those that have passed over before that. I know there's been a lot of rescue work for those spirits as well by a lot of different people. And we did a little bit of it, didn't we?
We
Seems
did
like we
some,
did some of
yeah.
that a while ago.
I think, yeah, we've because I do those live rescue situations, live events about once a month, I think.
Yeah.
Every other month or something like that. And we've done, I think, 2 or 3 of the trafficking, that type of thing where children were trafficked. Yeah,
Mm,
those types of things.
get those little souls home.
Right.
Awesome. This has been so cool.
I know.
I love this. I love this. You do such fun stuff.
Well, so do you. Yeah.
I know. And I'm getting ready to switch some stuff up. I've been teaching my classes on a platform, and I'm going to be switching it. So in June, the first half of June, I'm probably not going to be having too many courses. And then starting in June again, I've got stuff coming up.
Okay.
I got to switch off this platform I'm using. It's so clunky.
Oh.
So I think I'm going to go over to Kajabi.
Okay. Kajabi?
Yeah.
Okay. I've heard of that. David
Yeah.
Wilcock uses that. I've taken quite a few of his courses.
Yeah. And it seems pretty easy to use. And it's like, you know what? It's a little bit more expensive, but it's going to be worth it. So.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Yeah, you pay for what you get, right?
But that's okay. Thank you so much. This has been so cool. Everybody who's watching this, the stuff that we talk about on this YouTube channel, it's not like Sharon and I are the only ones that can do it, or that there's something special about that. Everything that we talk about, you guys can do too. And just that we really, we both really want people to know that you are so welcome, to come and share in classes and courses and this channel. And Sharon has her own YouTube channel. I have my own YouTube channel, and come and play with us. And if you're feeling like you really resonate with something, come on, get involved. I'm all over social media, Facebook. Sharon, not so much, but she's got meetup groups, right, that you do. And come and play with us and get involved, because this is part of the awakening, and this is part of this creating this new earth, is learning about all of this kind of stuff. And I'm going to say this, waiting on the sidelines, you're getting behind the times, guys.
This is true.
I mean, you're not, because everything's in divine order. Yeah, but I'm kind of prompt everybody, come on, get involved, and a lot of times, I have a lot of people that come to me and say, what is my life purpose? Well, you know what, you got to try on a few different things sometimes to find that out.
Yeah.
And so come and play with us.
Perfect. Beautiful. Yeah. And life purpose is multi-leveled anyway. It's multi-dimensional in my
Absolutely.
It's not just, I haven't found just one thing except for the fact that we are here to be loved, right? To be
Yes.
loved. That's, and
Well,
what
I'm
can
here to get loved.
okay.
That's it.
That too. Just love. Just love. Just love.
Just love me.
Just love. I know, right? Yeah. But totally, that Michelle brings up a good point. Anyone who wants to share their story, if they have some amazing experiences or anything that they would like to share, if they have any really cool stuff coming up or practice that you want to get out there and help let people know about, let us know. And we'd be really happy to talk to you and have you and showcase you on our shows. Definitely.
Oh yeah. We
Yeah.
want guests and people to play with too.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
also share some of your experiences down below. Make sure that you subscribe, get your notifications so you know when we're coming on to and when you know what we're doing. And also go over to Sharon's YouTube, subscribe and ding a ding over there and come over to me. Mine's just
Yeah.
under Michele Amburgey.
Right.
Subscribe, ding a ding. You got 3 sources of really cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool stuff.
And next week we are talking to someone I just interviewed on my channel, Love Notes from Jesus, and I can't wait. She wrote this book, beautiful, beautiful messages that she shared in her book from Yeshua, who we have an affinity for, Michelle and I, and not in a religious way for anyone new here, not in a religious way at all. So yeah, I can't wait to talk to her again. She has a lot to share.
Oh, I can't wait to meet her.
Yeah.
This is going to be fun.
And then in 2 weeks, we're going to do live again.
Yes.
The 4th Thursday of the month is our plan for now. And take questions and do whatever we do.
Whatever the heck we want to do.
Right? That's right. We can do that.
As long as we stay within the guidelines.
Oh,
Don't
forgot.
panic, YouTube. Don't panic.
I know. I forgot where we were. Okay, so we can do whatever we want to do within the YouTube guidelines. That's right. Okay. We haven't broken any rules here yet.
Not that we've been caught for.
Yeah. We'll have to go to Rumble. Okay.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. Yeah. We love you so much. We love you so much. Yeah. Subscribe. Talk to us. Ding a ding a ding.
Bye-bye.